morning, everybody. It's great. I know we all want to live in the metaverse sooner rather than later, but it's great to see everybody in person and so many familiar faces in the audience. So thank you very much for coming to the show. So what I'm going to be talking about today is a very practical approach on how we can actually scale into the metaverse, right? So we've all heard about the metaverse buzzword. We're seeing that it's not only a buzzword, but it's really people are putting their money where their mouth is, right? When it comes to investments like Microsoft buying one of the largest gaming acquisitions in the world, the CEO of Qualcomm saying that it's going to require as much compute power as the mobile industry. We've got Intel saying that building the metaverse is going to require 10,000 times more compute power than the entire PC revolution did. Right, so it's a very exciting time, and we at Lenovo completely embrace this vision, and we're working on a platform that makes it easier for our enterprise customers and actually customers in all walks of life to scale into the metaverse. So I know I'm sitting between a bunch of experts right here, but so I won't belabor this point too much in terms of the definition of the metaverse and the various definitions that we have. But at a very high 20,000-foot level, right, the metaverse is a virtual immersive world where large numbers of people can come together in a persistent environment to play, work, and socialize. It's the next, just like the Unity gentleman before me, it's definitely the next big enabler and the evolution of Web 3.0, which is going to be the 3D internet as we are building it out. If you look at the evolution of the internet or the web series, Web 1.0 was largely enabled by Wi-Fi and the PC revolution when it became more of a portable form factor. If you look at Web 2.0, which is where we live today, with the complete app stores, it was largely enabled by 4G and mobile devices, right? So we went from eyeballs to clicks and likes. And what's happening now, what the infrastructure we're building right now is a Web 3.0, which is largely going to be the 3D evolution of the internet. It's going to be predominantly in a 3D environment. 2D is not going to go away, but a large number of the experiences are going to be in 3D. And why, this, and most people agree now this is the right inflection point because of two factors. One is the fact that 5G is ubiquitous now, or it's getting ubiquitous. The low latency networks that are going to be required are going to be key for success. And then, of course, the proliferation of AR, VR devices. So we are finally seeing that inflection point that's going to be very important. As far as the metaverse market size goes, even if you look at some conservative estimates from PwC, they're expecting this to be a $1.5 trillion economy over the next 5 years. And this is more on the conservative side. You've got some reports from Goldman Sachs and other large investment banks that peg the value of the metaverse to be about, somewhere in the $10 to $15 trillion range. And some people even saying that it will add a 5% to the world global GDP, right? So some of the numbers there are quite astounding. So take it with a grain of salt. It'll be a good test where we are over the next 5 years. Coming down to the brass tacks, right? How Lenovo looks at the metaverse building blocks, and I think this is generally pretty well accepted across the industry. We look at two key building blocks of the metaverse. One is the content creation layer, and the second is the content delivery, right? So we all agree if Web 3.0 and the metaverse is going to be largely driven by 3D content, it's going to require a lot of gaming engines to be supported, a lot of compute power that's required around some of the partners we're working with, like Unity, Epic, Adobe, and for that matter, even Qualcomm is now, with their Spaces announcement, becoming a big part of this creation layer, which is sort of the first challenge that people have in this space. The second is the visual layer, or how will you experience the content, right? So these are the application spaces. You got leaders like Meta and Snapchat already playing a huge role here. You're going to get a lot of, in the enterprise space, you're going to see a lot of people now having enterprise applications that let you do a lot of remote collaboration, 3D collaboration that's getting very exciting as well. And then you've got the likes of NVIDIA Omniverse, which are creating their own sort of web servers for you to generate this content as well and deliver the content. And then in terms of the content delivery, there's going to be the cloud layer and the delivery layer, right? So this is going to be, you're going to have your traditional cloud players there that are serving up the data, but a lot of this data is going to be more distributed. It's going to move to the edge, and especially with 5G, this is where you've got the likes of major telco players as well as edge players playing a big role. So this creates a real greenfield opportunity for people to serve up content more efficiently, and it could be a major disruptor to the traditional cloud players as well. And then last but not least, devices. I'm going to be talking about that as well. The metaverse is not going to be only 3D, but it's going to be largely, some of the best experiences are going to be driven by 3D. So this is how Lenovo, once you look at the building blocks, right? Lenovo is in a unique position as one of the largest PC makers in the world, one of the largest data center providers in the world, and now working on the AR, VR side, as well as the mobile edge side. We've got a great portfolio of products that helps you, whether it's the creation layer with our high-powered ThinkStations, ThinkPads that are required, that power companies like DreamWorks, their content creation. They came out with a great movie that helped them not only with the content creation, but their edge servers, their cloud servers. A lot of the rendering for Bad Boys, for example, was done on our infrastructure. In terms of the visual layer, that's something that we're also building an ecosystem with some of our partners like Uptail and HoloOne that will help you enjoy this content in a 3D format. And then, of course, the cloud layer and delivery layer, we have our complete ThinkSystem and ThinkEdge portfolio of devices largely used in the data centers. In just about every major data center in the world, we have a leading position there as well. And then, my favorite part is the device and the device solutions around our ThinkReality platform, which I'm going to get into next. There's a lot of buzz around what the metaverse will be, right? There'll be multiple forms of the metaverse, whether it's gaming, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's the enterprise side of things. But we all agree that the on-ramp to the metaverse, the optimal on-ramp to the metaverse is going to be through a XR device because of the spatial computing that you need, because of the 3D immersion, and because of just the holographic content that will serve up. So no matter what form the metaverse takes, if you look at Gartner's planetary system here, we strongly believe that the on-ramp is always going to be through a optimal XR device. With that, the opportunities for the AR, VR space are just getting magnified, right? So by most estimates, this is going to be a $200 to $300 billion TAM market in the next 3 to 5 years. And a lot of this TAM is not only hardware, it's 60 to 70% software content, enterprise content. That's going to be a major disruptor in this industry. So if you look at the traditional markets like laptops and smartphones, which are flattening out or growing only slightly, this is where we see all the innovation happening, whether it's optics, whether it's display, whether it's CPUs. This is where a lot of the innovation is happening in the industry. So in terms of the metaverse use cases, of course, like the 4 major use cases that we see are around 3D collaboration, around digital twins that are being created in the enterprise, and then this large bucket of consumer gaming and social media, right? So this is a pretty exciting space. I think this is a tide that's going to lift all boats in terms of its reach. And what we are focusing on with our ThinkReality platform is largely the enterprise space. What we want to do is we want to make it, we want to be your choice when it comes to this digital transformation journey in terms of getting you into the enterprise metaverse if you want to scale there. We've got 4 key pillars, and this is why our solution is very unique in the industry when we are talking about a complex issue like scaling into the metaverse. We feel that coming in with a complete end-to-end solution is the key to helping our customers scale into the metaverse. So we have a complete, robust software platform. We have a solution ecosystem that we provide. We have our own hardware as well as third-party hardware, and then we have a slew of professional services where we work with both ourselves as well as our partners, right? So it's one of the most comprehensive ecosystems that's out there. It's sort of a one-stop shop for our customers. And given the fact that the metaverse is still being defined, it's very important that we create a stack that grows with our customers' needs and that can change with our customers' needs, right? So instead of locking you into one cloud ecosystem or one particular device or a software ecosystem, this is a great way for people to kind of grow, experiment, and then scale into the metaverse. So if you look at our hardware portfolio, for example, we are the only ones that have both our A3 glasses as well as VR glasses. We're probably the only company in the world that has such a comprehensive solution that attaches to both our Motorola smartphones as well as traditional PCs, right? So, and then we've been able to work with external parties like RealWear as well as HoloLens to kind of attach our software and services to their hardware as well. So it's a complete device agnostic, software agnostic solution that we've created with our partners. So this is the beauty, the masterpiece that we've worked on. We launched this later part of last year. This is going to be the leading device for Qualcomm Snapdragon Spaces. I'm sure you guys saw Hugo's keynote and some of the announcements that went out. So we partnered closely with Qualcomm and our sister company Motorola to kind of power this device. And this is, to me, this is how we are really helping a lot of our enterprise customers scale into the metaverse, get really high ROI applications, and going forward, along with Qualcomm Spaces, we think this is going to be a game changer in terms of the developer ecosystem that it's going to create. So very excited about that. So everybody knows the success in XR. We've been doing this for 10 years, but the success in XR and success in the metaverse is going to come about after we talk about horizontal solutions that really help us create outcomes, right? So if I look at the XR space right now, there are 4 key outcomes that most people agree are the most impactful. The first one is around training and education. We've seen the VR space really mature there over the past 5 years, and now we're seeing increasingly AR glasses being used for training and education as well. The other 2 are around workflow support and remote assistance, right? Your standard use cases for AR glasses where you need your peripheral vision as well. So we're seeing some very high ROI use cases with our customers like Micron and Uptail that we've announced publicly as well. And as we go forward, as we see the technology evolving, we're seeing mixed reality come into this space as well with VR pass-through that'll allow you to interact with machinery, and you can see through it as well. And then, of course, the final one is the digital workspace. The 3D avatars, being able to collaborate, being able to look at 3D models. We have some great demos with some of our partners where you can actually collaborate on millions of polygons worth of data on these A3 glasses as of today, right? So the future is already here in terms of some of the applications we have. So what we've done is create these horizontal solutions that help you cut across multiple verticals, right? So we created this ecosystem of devices, software solutions that help us attack the most important verticals in the industry. So whether it's healthcare, whether it's education, whether it is transportation, automotive, or retail, right? So we can actually go attack that. And we don't compete with our ISV ecosystem. We strongly feel that we can be a one-size-fit-all. So we've kind of developed a robust ecosystem based on the fact that we're open Android. So this is how we're kind of attacking multiple verticals with our horizontal solutions. And then, last but not least, definitely take a picture of this. Please scan this. This is how you can actually get into the developer program with Qualcomm. This is the leading device. Some of the demos that I've seen from Hugo and his team are just phenomenal. So looking forward to sharing that with you over the next couple of days, and working with you on that. And then. And then last but not least, why the ThinkReality platform? I think we've got 4 key tenets. One is the fact that it's a complete global business. Lenovo operates in 160 countries across the world, has the best warranty services, device services that nobody else can offer. Secondly is the fact that it's an open ecosystem. To me, as we scale into the metaverse, I strongly believe that the open ecosystem players are the ones that are going to have the most impact, right? So I think we've got to avoid some of the walled garden approaches of the past. To me, if the metaverse is going to be successful, that's one area where I think there's a lot of public policy debate we need to have. And then last but not least, a complete end-to-end solution, a one-stop shop for our customers, and then a slew of services that we provide along with that as well. So having said that, I'll just leave you with one last video on how we're helping create the metaverse. All right, thank you very much. And I'm sure you guys are ready. Thanks.